When our kids are spending a lot of time indoors, what are the consequences? What do we see?
Well, we're seeing an increase in antidepressant prescriptions of 69% over the last 6 years. We're seeing kids that have better relationships with devices than they do with other kids or with their parents. We're seeing really epidemic of addiction that is so powerful that it's influencing eyesight. Myopia is 90% in Singapore, about 40% here in California where I live, and increasing all across North America. And that's in part because of the way that we hold our devices. We have such a near work and nearsightedness that it actually elongates the eye. But this isn't only a screen problem. It's actually a horizon deficiency. We are not giving kids the opportunity for free play outside, which in Singapore, there are public health campaigns for 2 hours a day for parents to have their kids off their devices and to play with their kids and to allow kids free play for that amount of time, because it can forestall the development of myopia, which can turn into high myopia and damage in the eye in your 30s and 40s in about 5% of cases. So nearsightedness, which we think of as kind of benign, usually is, but occasionally become very damaging, and we want to avoid that. So that horizon deficiency idea is a relatively new concept because your eyes need distance like your lungs need oxygen. You have to be able to look far out. And I'm looking far out now at the windows and backlit the blue jays on top of my post to give your eyes a rest. The ciliary muscles around your eyes are all scrunched up. When you're doing near work, you're about 24 inches away from me on a screen, and your eyes physically need to relax, and your brain needs to have a restoration minute an hour minimum and 5 minutes an hour if you want to forestall myopia doing computer work as an adult.
Yeah, it's fascinating because you think about, for example, kids using Chromebooks in schools all day now.
Right.
And honestly, as you talk about, you call it the horizon deficit, as you talk about that, it makes so much sense to me. Kids growing up 70s, 80s were outside playing, you're climbing trees, your eyes are constantly readjusting.
That's right, yeah.
To be honest, I teach about this all of the time. And I don't think I hear us talk about this a ton of what's actually happening when our kids are just looking to this very, very short distance and it's this focus all of the time.
It physically elongates the eye. The anatomy changes. Not very much, millimeters, but enough so that it affects vision. And that is a fixable problem with the kind of prescription that I suggested and with a protocol of being outdoors regularly. The greatest influence on how often a child uses her device is how often and in what way his or her parent does. And that's so powerful because, of course, we're so dependent on screens. We're talking on one now. And that's not a bad thing, but it is bad if it keeps us inside. For adults, the minimum effective dose of outdoors in a specific or intentional way near green or blue or natural space is 17 minutes a day. That's all. We already spend over an hour outside, often most of us an hour and a half, 7% of our waking hours outside, but most of that's incidental and not intentional. We spend 93% of our time indoors, which has caused not just a horizon deficiency, but I think is a root cause of burnout, exhaustion, fatigue, certainly attention fatigue, and immune problems, insulin resistance, and the list goes on. It's actually a root cause of disease, staying inside as much as we do without the natural inputs that we evolved to require. And kids with developing brains are really at the heart of this because they don't get those inputs early.